Everyone on Periscope. Okay. Well, you know, here's what I know will happen is that so many times nobody's gonna lay their head on a pillow tonight and say, you know, if I just saw one TV commercial, like I wish there was one more. Thanks. Thanks, Joel. If I saw one more TV commercial in life, I would just be more fulfilled. If there was one more print ad that made me feel horrible about my body, I would sleep better. That I wish on the way to work there was more billboards blocking beautiful views advertising to me. Nobody is having that conversation. But here's what I know, is that everybody, when they lay their head on the pillow, will want more adventure in their life.
Yes.
No matter who it is, I don't care their background, I don't care, like, it's a universal idea that everybody feels like that there is something missing. And what we would say is that is adventure. That's what you're called to do, that's what your purpose is, that's how you're designed. Now, how many times though do you think that the average person sees a commercial? Whether that's a print ad, whether that is hearing a radio spot, whatever that is, how many times do you think that is? Do you think maybe 50? Yeah, so think to yourself, like, in the last 24 hours, how many advertisements did I see? 50? Well, it's more than that. How about 500? You're like, there's no way I saw 500 ads. Like, just think to yourself, like, did I see like billboard, radio, advertising on Facebook, there's stuff on the right. Like, is it 500? It can't be 500. Do you know that this has been measured and tested, and that the average person in North America will be exposed to 5,000 advertisements a day? 5,000 advertisements a day. And you wanting to advertise has to fit into that. Does that start to go, like, how do I even stand a chance? Do you know that if you take the average timeline on Facebook, if we take the average number in here, there's the average number of friends that you have on Facebook is 388, and if you go and say, well, how many times do they post a day, or how many times do they post a week, that if you add all of that up, in a given year, it's 500,000. So on your timeline on Facebook, there's going to be 500,000 posts this year. Do you know what we're trying to do? Is help your post matter and fit into that, because how is somebody going to read yours and not somebody else? Like, how's it even possible when you hear those numbers? Well, let me ask you this. How many of you still have children that go to school? They're home and go to school. Okay, a lot of campers out there, I see. Okay, good. Well, let's take the number of subjects that they will hear in one day. Let's just say 5. Sometimes it's more. Like even if they're in kindergarten, they kind of reset and do 5 different subjects during the day. And you take the number of school days in a year, that adds up to over 1,000 times. So here's what I want you to do is, I want you to, next time you see them, I say, hey, wasn't school great? Great. Yeah, there's 1,000. How many lessons do you remember that you could tell me right down that I could write down on a sheet of paper? Tell me all of them right now. Are they going to remember 1,000? They're not. They're going to remember maybe 10. Do you know what those 10 will be? The 10 where the teacher took them on an adventure. The 10 where they engaged the senses. The 10 that they didn't just try to give facts, but they gave a story. And they took the classroom on a story. You see, that's what we need to do, is stop advertising and start inviting people into a grand adventure. You see, advertising is based on discontent. And marketers know this, is that if I can get you to not like something, or if I can get you to be jealous of something, or if I can take all of those bad things that we don't want to be, if I can get you to buy into that, you will buy a product. That's the root of all advertising. But adventure is rooted in the soul. It's based on passion. And that's where we've been trying to tell you, hey, you know how you cut through 500,000 posts on a timeline? Like, people are just going through Instagram. How do they stop? I mean, you've done that. Okay, wait, let me look at that one. Why did you do that? You don't even know why you're doing it. But today I want to maybe tell you why you actually stop. Yeah? And I want to give you some examples, because one of the things is that today partially is about celebrating you. Celebrating your accomplishments, celebrating your achievements, recognizing you. And so in social media, you've done a fantastic job in this idea of adventure. And so I want to give you a couple of examples of that. Because many people are like, oh, there's a product that comes out. Okay, here's the product ad. Okay, that didn't work, so let me just post it 3 times. That didn't work, so let me just, I'll just be louder in a big, noisy world. That as loud and as noisy as it gets, people are still saying that is not what I'm going after. And so here's an example from Instagram. This is from Jill. And I want to show you why this is a great post. A couple of things. She geotagged her location. Now, she didn't geotag her location saying, you know, so excited about vacation, going to be gone the next 2 weeks, keys under the door, here's where my house is, kind of location, post, okay? It's not that. It is, she's in this area. Why? Because then other people that are in that area, and Instagram completely changed about 2.5, 3 weeks ago, where location-based stuff is getting a lot more emphasis. So other people could go through and say, wow, look at this family, wait, this is in the middle of a school year. How did they get to do something like that? And look, it's just, some kids just can't handle the family adventures, right? So she's using that in there. And she's using emojis. Why? Because your brain processes images 60,000 times faster than text. And so you will go and you will stop. If you see a bunch of words, just subconsciously, you see an emoji, you stop. And so she's using hashtags. This is a great idea of a post. Why? Because I don't feel like I'm being advertised to, do I? What do I feel? I'm being invited into their family adventure. And so I want to know more about that adventure. And you think, oh, I just posted something, why did they not, oh, they didn't go and just quick buy something? No. It could take up to 20 times. On average, it's about 8. 8 different times they have to be exposed to a post over and over again for that consistency. So this is a great example of a post, and she's tying it in. The kids in the back probably don't like right now that they're all over social media, and I'm talking about them in the back sleeping, but there's all that, and she's drinking energy. She's not just, she's living the product. Because, do they want energy? Yes, because it's an amazing product. But, you know what they want more than that can of energy? They want Jill's life. And so if you're not talking about your adventure and doing that, you're missing out. Okay, so I think sometimes if I say just post about adventure, that's not maybe enough. So I want to break it down. I want to give you 3 specific things that you can do. Right? Because I don't want to just here's the big idea and then see you later. Good luck with that. I want to give you 3 really easy next steps. Because some of you said I just feel lost. Great. I'm going to give you 3 easy next steps. Okay? I'm going to give you 3 types of things that you can start to post about right away that is going to dramatically increase your influence. The first one is this, friendship. You post about friendship. The next one, you post about fun. And then freedom. Okay? That's what you post about. It works, okay? So you say, cool, but yeah, but that's great for everybody else here, John. But I'm really good at social media. I have a ton of followers. It's really good. Follow for follow. Well, I didn't know you were here. So let me give you your 3 things that you should post about. Friendship, fun, and freedom. You're like, cool, but I took your 100-day adventure, so I'm really advanced. I got
you guys
all
need to
that.
pick me up some stuff from the store.
Really basic stuff. Cool, I forgot. You should post about friendship, fun, and freedom. That's what you should post about. You're like, John Eric, I'm an ambassador. So what should I, once I hit that rank, oh man, I'm double diamond now. What should I start to post about? Sorry, I don't want to be disrespectful, but why don't we everybody help? What should we post about? Friendship, fun, and freedom. So I want to break down each one of those and maybe give you some ideas of that. So the first one I want to take is the idea of friendship. And the reason why friendship is so important is because just so much this is part of the human soul. See, friendship, fun, and freedom, this is not cooked up in some marketing think tank. These are things that speak to the human soul. It's why you maybe fell in love with the It Works way, because it is part of our DNA. It's who we are. But it's just not who we are. It is how you are designed as a human being to respond. So when you post about it, the human soul goes, what, huh? Oh, I was ignoring all the noise and mess in the world, but what'd you say, friendship? I want that. And all you do is you base your business plan around this. See, many of the top income earners, they started this company because they just needed another $300, another $500. That's all they wanted. But when they hit that number, then it completely shifts. And so my business plan has been simple. All it is has been this. And I'll give it to you. Feel free to steal it. Originality is the ability to hide your source. You don't even have to tag me in it. All your friends can go that's a great idea. Help my friends and make more friends. You see, once you hit that, I just need another 500. I was let's look at the Pentecost family. Let's look at just their Pentecost adventure. They started a company because they just needed $500. But then once that shifts, what did it become about? It's about helping people. So that became their currency. That should be your team's currency. How are we going to help people? In our family, I do these every Sunday night is kind of our dream board night. And we don't just have a dream board, we have a dream wall. And it's a whole, you have to face it as you're walking in the house. It's the first thing you see and the last thing that you see when you leave. Because you have to face that every day. So we look at that. I went and created this printouts of these family crests. And so it's like this family crest, but it's blank inside. And so what I did is I had each one of the family, we said, hey, what does it mean to be part of our family? And they went and they all went, and Emerson was a disaster, and it was awesome, and way to think outside the box, it's awesome. And my oldest, his had Nicolas Cage had to figure it out to get the Declaration of Independence, it's some code. Guys in black suits are about to walk in at any moment and arrest him. He's got all these stuff in it, and my wife, she's an art teacher, and so hers was amazing in 2 minutes, and it's just, oh.
Woo! Art teachers!
And then Pepe, she's about 12 at the time, she gave me hers, and it's a orange dragon. I go, Pepe, why is there an orange dragon on our family crest? And she says, well, Daddy, that's because we fight dragons for people. And I was like, I'm getting an orange dragon and sleeve hey kids, let's all get tattoos. No, right, so help my friends and make more friends. And so I want to show you another great post here. So here's another great post. So this is one of Alyssa, okay? And so this represents the kind of things that the human soul and the human heart is missing. They miss family. They miss that they have friends. They want to be part of a tribe. It does not matter what, how do you translate that in another, you don't have to translate that idea. Everybody, it's a universal idea, wants to be part of that. And that's why even some teams, they create even their own hashtags, for their team. And it's it's our team. Hashtag Bamasippy and stuff like that, where they're just creating. Apparently from Alabama. Okay. Right, and so they do all of that. Why? Because I want to be part of something. That's what the hashtag is that I want to be part of something. You see, your greatest relationships are through shared adventure. Think about that in your life, the greatest relationships that you have in your life, it was because you shared an adventure together. It was, I think, 2 weeks ago, I went and got the mail, and I opened it up, and there was a wedding invitation. And I opened up this wedding invitation, and I said, hey, Kim, we got an invitation to a wedding. And she said, oh, from who? And I said, oh, from our friends Dan and Katie. Apparently they're from Alabama. And so we're talking about that, and then I said, isn't it weird, Kim, that we've actually never met Dan and Katie? But we have a conversation online. You see, if I just like their post and they like my post, but when I tweeted something, he tweeted something back, and then we had this conversation, and then, do you know what? Conversations start revolutions. Conversations, my wife and I, we fell in love over a conversation. People, conversations. That's when you comment, when you reply, you're just having a conversation. And you know what? It takes just, how long does it go? Okay. Now go and hit comment. Take another couple of seconds. It makes a huge difference. And it was crazy because we actually met for the first time at Green Carpet. But for months, I was these are my friends. But this brings me to another part, is this idea of fun. It's a really important idea, is this. I take what I do very, very seriously. It keeps me up late at night sometimes. It's many times the first thing that I think about. It drives me, it gets me out of bed in the morning. It drives me that there's a single mom right now that tonight she's going to cry herself to sleep because she's got 2 kids and she doesn't know how she's going to make it. I take that extremely seriously. I'm wearing giraffe camel pants. I don't take myself seriously. That's it. No, but think about some of you, when your business started to decline, it was because you took the opportunity very seriously in the beginning, and then you started taking yourself way too serious, and you started getting successful. So you need to make sure that you take this very seriously. You just don't take yourself very seriously. Because why? You gotta have fun, right? You post just goofy things about that, and you're doing fun things, right? And so in this post, Kendra had a great post where it says they're having fun, and so people will stop on this timeline because they go, oh look, they're having fun. This is the kind of post that makes people stop. And the reason I picked this post is, first of all, the one on the left. This is kind of a popular thing, but the whole this is my view today, this is my office. I love those posts. It gets people's attention. Why? Because sometimes, especially in the fall, I work Mondays from the Magic Kingdom or Epcot. There's Wi-Fi, and because I can, and it's it's that whole hey, I'm having fun. I can do this. And so when you have your view and you're sitting by the pool watching your husband play with their child, and she's on her phone making money at the time, do you think people want to stop and go, hey, so tell me more about that? They do. The other thing I wanted to use this post specifically is because I think sometimes you guys out there, you think, well, I'm just at a disadvantage. Well, you know what? Wearing a shirt is a start, but there's so much more that you can do on social media, and you're yeah, but I'm just not as good as my wife. You're not trying to be her. Okay, see, if I go and take one of my kids on a field trip, and there's one of the moms that is posting like, hey, I'm on this field trip, it's so great that I have the freedom and the fun and the friendship to do it. That's great. But there's 29 other moms that posted the same thing. But I was the only guy that was there. So when you are spending time with your kids and you're posting about that, that makes a huge, huge impact. But some of you are saying, yes, but I'm just starting out. I don't have the money to be able to go on vacation all the time. I didn't say vacation. I said adventure. You see, adventure is a mindset. If our goal in life is that if I work 40 years for somebody, and if I could go and just twice a year take a week off, like that seems to be like one of the goals. Like, oh, like I could get, like the American dream is I get 2 weeks off and I can buy a house. Well, you didn't buy a house, you bought a house for the bank because there's a mortgage on it. So you bought the bank a house. There's a big difference between having a house debt-free and just having a house that the bank owns and lets you use. Okay? There's a big, big difference of that. It's this mindset of, then if you take 2 weeks a year, that's only 4% of your life. So 4% of your life you can be by a pool? Like I'm convinced that if Pharaoh would have just let the children of Israel have like 2 weeks off a year, like they wouldn't have like, no, we're good. We're good, we got our 2 weeks. Like the Pharaoh's off, like we're good, we're set. We got nothing to complain about. That is not the American dream. That is crazy. Adventure is a mindset. When people say, oh, I'm bored, that's because you're boring. Like, you do not need to be entertained by Candy Crush constantly. The next one I want to show you is freedom. Because we don't have that freedom. 76% of all Americans, that when you go back and you say, I'm going to take the 2 houses left and right, I'm going to take the 2 across the street from me. 76%. That means that 3 out of those 4 people are just 1 paycheck away. They have paycheck to paycheck. They're 1 paycheck away from losing everything. That the average American family that declared bankruptcy for under $500 a month, they could have prevented that bankruptcy. That more Americans will declare bankruptcy than will have a heart attack this year. Freedom is a big deal. So we're going to skip these next 2 slides because you've heard that technology is an accelerator. It just makes things go faster. So it can make all of these things, friendship, fun, and freedom, it can go a lot faster. It can make the bad things in the world go faster. So people say, oh, I don't like Facebook. No, you don't like gossip. Like, oh, I don't like Twitter. No, you don't like how you use Twitter. That's a different thing. So I'm going to show you this other post. This is from Rachel Williamson. And what I love about this post is this. They're showing you the plans for their house. And here's what they said. 2.5 years ago, we were drowning in debt. She's speaking to 76.
Camping on the mind.
I blame the adventure pants, really. We were drowning in debt and surviving month to month. She's speaking to 3 out of the 4 people in her neighborhood. It was horrible. Now we are totally debt-free and they're building their dream house. Do you think people want to see that, or they want to know your political opinion on something? Like, I'm not saying you don't have an opinion on something. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying is, do you want to be right or do you want to win? Like, there's sometimes 2 different things there, okay? Thank you, the 14 of you that agree with that. Okay. Here's what I want to guarantee to you, is that if you post about friendship, fun, and freedom, that nobody will ever say no. You're like, you can guarantee that if I'm doing friendship, fun, and freedom, people won't ever say no? I can guarantee that. You know why? Because they're not saying no to you. They're saying no to themselves. you giving them an opportunity, that was all you were supposed to do. You taking that 3 minutes that could have impacted 3 generations of their family tree, that was all you needed to do. The answer was irrelevant. If your happiness depends on what other people are going to say, that's a miserable experience. Like, I'm gonna have a good day or a bad day based upon if they say yes or no. That is not how you live. You say, my job is to say yes. To say yes to adventure. To go through and say, yes, I'm gonna go over and I'm gonna talk to them. That was what the win was. The win was that you said yes. And see, it's so easy to say no. See, people go through and they say, I'm tired, something's expensive, tomorrow we'll do it, well, next time, I'm not going to do that workout today, I'm going to do it next time, I'll start next month, we'll start to do that. Like, that's what losers say. That's the language of a loser, okay? Winners say something, they say, today, there's a sense of urgency. You know why there's a sense of urgency? You know why I care so much? Because there is that single mom that is going to cry herself to sleep tonight. And that's why there's a sense of urgency. I recently got to go on a great adventure, and I got to go with my mom. Mm-hmm. And so here's a picture of me and my mom. And my mom has stage 4 kidney cancer, and there's nothing. It doesn't matter how much money I have. It doesn't matter how smart I am. It doesn't matter what technology I know how to use. It doesn't matter what I do. I cannot add one more day to her life. I mean, I can pray, I can hope, I can dream, but I myself have no control over adding another day to her life. But you know what I can do? I can add life to her days. What you need to understand is that, yes, is this about amazing products? Absolutely. Is it about this amazing culture? Yes. Is it about that we get to accelerate hope on the planet? Yes. But for me, it occurred recently that it's about that we can add life to people's days. And so I was able to take her on an adventure to the Arctic Circle where she was born. She hasn't been in now over 60 years. And so I surprised her and we went over there and we had this amazing adventure. And right before we were about to, my grandfather, he was a pastor. And we don't know where the church is. We don't know what it's called. There's so much we don't know. But it'd be really, well, Mom, why don't we go down and we get the records and find well, this was during World War II and the Nazis had invaded and they burned all the birth records and all of that. We don't know anything. And I thought to myself, we should try to find it. And I thought, but we have that flight tomorrow and, we're jet lagged and Mom, I don't want Mom to overdo it. And then, probably not even going to find it. I have to find this church in the middle of this stuff that we don't even know. It's another language. Everybody says no, 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 no. And so I said no. And we were planning on going to the airport, and then we stopped and said, you know what? Let's just try. Let's just say yes. So we went, and we went there. We didn't know if it was the right place. And they, at the end of the service, they brought my grandfather's picture out that had been hanging on the wall, that he was this hero that fought the Nazis in the resistance, and these amazing stories about building a radio tower in the church steeple and rescuing people. And then they brought out this book and they dusted it off and they opened it up and here, I took a picture of it. Here is my mom's name and all of her records. And they did not keep her records where all the other records are because she was the daughter of the pastor, and that's my grandfather's handwriting. He wrote that out over 70 years ago, and it was sitting on a shelf. And you know what that was doing? It had been waiting for over 60 years for one thing, for me to say yes to adventure. I wonder for you, this story is not about me, and it's not about my mom, who I'm a wreck right now because she's sitting here and she's feeling good enough to come and be here today. This story is about you. It is the story of how many times you said no to other people. How many times you said no that it's just we're tired, no, it's expensive, no. When we say no, we rob the world. And so my hope for you is this, is that you say yes to adventure, that you always stay thoughtful, that you help your friends and that you make more friends, that you always see the moonwalking bear and that you see the pink feet in life, right? That you invite people to a grand adventure, that the day has a good you because your adventure begins right now.
You need to get on YouTube and look up Moonwalking Bear video.
Alright. You can't do endings like that when I'm coming out. I'm back there like, makeup, please, makeup. Hey, you know what I love about the 100-day social adventure? Is that we've changed the conversation from don't do this and don't do that to being thoughtful.
Yeah.
You brought that concept. It just like, it's almost like it was there all the time, but people didn't have that conversation. A year ago, we're having these conversations about what? Don't talk about your downline on Facebook, right? We're getting on to you. But, John Eric, how have you seen the transformation from the 100-day social adventure go from being kind of, I don't want to say like a negative aspect, like don't do this, to changing the world with thoughtfulness?
Yeah, everything was about, I'm frustrated, why are we doing this? And it turns from frustration to inspiration. For me, it's been inspiring. It's just watching that and just stepping back and going, wow, they're living their dreams. I'm getting ideas from you now. That is just so, it's been incredible for us.
I love it. Here's what I can tell you. And there's no doubt about this. There's not one other company other than It Works Global that is doing social the way we're doing it.
Absolutely.
There's not one. Would you guys agree with that? Right? There's other companies out there and they're like, oh, here's how you get more likes, or here's how you get more of this, or here's how you get more of that. But they're not giving high fives and hugs online.
No, they're not. Everything is, when I first started doing computer animation, there was maybe 100 people that knew how to do it. And now there's thousands of people, there's schools, or that. It's the same thing, that there's very few people on the planet right now that get the power, the true power, that it's not about just advertising, but it's about adventure, and you'll start to see them all to copy us.
Yeah. One thing John Eric shared with me, that probably the second time we ever met, he said, Mike, you can stop posting for 30 days. I'm not telling you to do it, but you could stop posting for 30 days and just go like other people's posts, comment on other people's posts, and you have more people following you after 30 days than you ever had before. Right. Talk about that for a second.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that you should do this, but if you said, if I told you you're not allowed to post anything, you're only allowed to be thoughtful, to to comment, to have conversations, to share, to be about other people, at the end of those 30 days, your social influence will be higher than everybody else around you. Because it's not about me all the time, but it's about, I've started this conversation with other people, and the way that algorithm and everything works is like people say, oh, well then what are they up to? And they start looking towards you, and you become kind of this thought leader. And then your posts have a ton more influence.
There's no doubt about that. How many of you in the room have started the 100-day social adventure? Raise your hand.
Woo!
Okay. If you haven't, do it today. Like, just do it. Because we can tell you this, the 100 videos that are out there, every single one, it just gives you that little bite, that little bite, that little bite that you can actually chew on a daily basis and then go implement. When we started talking about this, we said, we're impacting it works.
Right.
It works. We have a blitz card when we go out into the marketplace, right? You go out into the marketplace, you say, hey, have you tried that crazy rap thing? And have any of you ever had somebody say, I'm not interested? Anyone? Okay, if you're not raising your hand, you've never blitzed.
Yes. True story.
Because
Calling you out.
everybody has somebody that says no. So we were going, the same conversation that we were having a year ago, before we met you really was like this. That's what's happening in the world right now. From every small business out there.
Right.
Real estate agents, your next door neighbor who owns a car wash, the restaurant owner, the nail technician, they're all asking these same things like, how do I do social media? Talk about that for a second.
When we started hearing these stories of people said, hey, my husband, he's a college recruiter for a team, and he's watching the social media stuff, and he's going, oh, I'm going to use that for this. And then I was getting stories from you guys, and Mark's like, oh, I talked to a real estate agent, and they're like, hey, can I get the 100-day adventure? And they're all dealing with the same issue. Why? Because everybody's being inundated with advertising, and it's not working for everybody on the planet. And so they see this, and they're like, wait, tell me more about that. How can I get that?
And they couldn't until today. So, what we've decided to do, we're like, we should probably not keep this a secret anymore, because if we have the ability to change the conversation on social, that means that there's a market for that. That means there's a demand for that. So starting soon, what we're going to do is introduce this new concept of social customers. And what's cool is the conference special of $49 is gone. The regular price we're going to offer to the marketplace anyone for $99. But John Eric said, if the It Works family is going to go out, we got to put BB on.
So $99. 99 BB, you just have another thing added for a conversation to be able to say, hey, I know you own your own salon. Do you have a Facebook page? And what did I say? Oh, I can't figure that out. Oh, I don't know how to use Twitter. How do you you know what I can do? Here's this product that you can buy that benefits you, that you are inviting them into adventure. You're helping your friends. You're making more friends. And now, instead of just one conversation, you now have 100 conversations with them.
You know what I love? Every single person that told you no in the past, they're on Instagram, or they're on Facebook, or they're out there tweeting. So now it gives you that ability to go back to it. Now, this is available to what we're calling social customers. A social customer is not a retail customer, it's not a loyal customer, it's not a distributor. It's a new type of customer that we're creating specifically for the 100-day social adventure. We're doing this on purpose to be able to create more conversations. And what I love is that, so you say, well, what's a social customer? It's real simple. It's someone who purchases only the 100-day social adventure. So what do they get? John Eric, we're talking about what does this social customer get? They obviously get a viewing portal to watch your videos.
Yeah, see, when you go through it and you want to just sell a retail, here's a wrap, they don't get a website that they need to deal with, right? But wait, how are they going to watch the videos? So the amazing IT team and marketing have worked really, really hard, and they basically created a whole entire system to be able to use this so that those retail customers have an online viewing portal, that they now have a login, that they can go and be part of this 100-day adventure designed and branded just for them. So that's pretty insane.
I love it. So, everybody out here that's purchased 100-day social, obviously they have that, they're going through that, but we're seeing, you're going to start doing more videos every day.
Well, what happens is we have the original 100,
Okay.
and then we have this thing called adventure support. And so in an adventure support, one of the things that we do is we're constantly, like, we'll do a Periscope, and people will say, oh, I really, really love that, but it expires in 24 hours. So we take that and we download that, and we put it so it's available. And so those are those things that are just now being loaded into the system, so that those people who are still on it, you can say, you know that one where you talked about Google Photos and how to do that? Yeah, just go there. It's in that adventure support. And we're also making new weekly videos on those concepts, and we're just adding tons more content, because our job is for you to cut through that clutter of those 500,000 ads. It's to give you an edge, and it's to give you an advantage, and it's to help you win and help accelerate your dream. And so all that stuff is there for them.
I love that. So you guys know how to blitz, right? We blitz, we wrap, we repeat. And you use a website you just were introduced to, itworks.com. So what we've been able to do is simplify and incorporate the 100-day social media adventure into this. So where do these new social customers go? Well, they only can purchase it through you, a distributor. So they're going to go to your new website. They're going to go to your username.itworks.com. You're seeing on the screen right now, /100 days. So your username.itworks.com/100 day. And John, Eric, when they go to this site, what does it look like? It's pretty cool. It's like not necessarily what they're getting, because these small business owners, when they're asking these questions and they don't know the answers, we've got to guide them through to show them just a little bit. So we're excited about it.
Yeah, no, it's great. You basically have your own kind. It's all replicated with your login, and it's right here that explains it, and it's a sales page right there, and they log in, and they don't have to be a loyal customer, they don't have to be a distributor. You want your loyals, you want your distributors to do this, but this offers a whole new demographic, a whole new opportunity for you, and it's right there on your website, and they can go and purchase it right there, and you get 99 BV.
I love it. And the price, less than $1 a day. They get 100 videos just like you, same videos, but less than $1 a day. That's a huge market. Guys, we're excited about this. Give it up for John Eric Moser for going out and doing this. Our goal at It Works is to continue to kind of arm you when you go out into the marketplace. We know we blitz, we